No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have 6:01, so we'll call the meeting to order. I'd like to remind everyone of City of Perry's core values. It's strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity. It's a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. Roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Molly, Scott,
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay, and one of the agenda items needs a supermajority, and luckily we have that today if everyone votes the same. So we'll move on. I have motion to approve the meeting agenda. Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein. Yes. Mahler.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we have the consent agenda. We have 2 minutes, the minutes of the April 7th regular city council meeting and the April 7th, 2025 budget public hearing meetings. There's 2 contract payment services for Bolton and Mank for $10,548.99. So not sure those guys can afford to be at this meeting tonight after that small amount. Claims registers and financials of $363,180.18. And we have 1 license and permit application. Los Dos Amigos Mexican Restaurant, Inc., or Casa de Oro on 2nd Street in Perry. And the inspections have already been completed and are on file at City Hall. Could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. Roll call?
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, move on to Sven, City Administrator's report.
All right, obviously you can tell by the agenda, we've had some stuff going on, mostly Molly again, but, you know, probably biggest thing, 2 weeks ago, I was able to sit on a panel at the Rural Development Summit up in Ames and, speak on rural disaster recovery. So it was, you know, nice to be able to share Perry's story and hopefully share some lessons learned, but other than that, it's kind of been gearing up for summer projects and getting things ready to roll. So, anybody have any questions for me? All right.
Okay, thanks, Sven. I have a few things. I'm going to try to make it quick because we have a pretty full agenda, but want to send out some get well wishes to Susie today. Hope she's doing well. Anyone who did not go to the concert after our last city council meeting at the Performing Arts Center really missed out something special. It was a mere moment, Bolero in Remembrance. It was a tribute to those affected by the January shooting last year. It was put on by local students and students from Central College. It was really well performed, and I would just like to put a big thank you out there to all that had a hand in making that happen. So thank you all. And then a reminder, I talked to a guy from the county today. He was out looking at something on my property, and he said that the county is looking at doing away with the recycle bin out at the county property just south of Hy-Vee First Interstate Bank, because there's getting too much stuff in it that's not coming from county people. So a reminder to the people in the city of Perry, they should be using the Perry recycle bins. They are located on First Street next to the police station, at McCurry Center parking lot, and at the football field parking lot. So please use ours and leave the rural county residents, because we do not get assessed for that, whereas the residents around Perry in the county do. So we don't want to run their cost up. So, and then the final thing, just want to thank the city staff for all the hard work they did on the budget. It's in here today. Got it all finished. It was a tough year because of the challenges of some of the latest legislation, but everybody worked together to try to cut some costs and increase some revenues without overburdening anybody. And I think we got a nice balanced budget that should be easy to prove today. But so thank you all for that. Okay, any council comments? Okay, we'll go to open forum. Speakers be asked to step to the microphone, state their name and address for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the council. Any open forum? Okay, so we'll move on to special presentations. Perry Rotary Club 2024 Civil Servant of the Year Award presentation. Kevin.
Thank you very much. My name is Kevin Vittiger. I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning at Perry Community School District. And I also have the pleasure of serving as the president of the Perry Rotary Club this year. So on behalf of the Perry Rotary Club, I'm honored to present the 2024 Civil Servant of the Year Award to Perry Fire Chief Grayson Hill. Chief Hill has served the Perry community as a volunteer firefighter for over 32 years and recently completed his first year as fire chief. His dedication to the safety and well-being of our community is truly unmatched. This year, the Rotary Club received 20 nomination forms in support of Chief Hill, more than for any other nominee. Community members cited his tireless efforts responding to fires, accidents, and medical emergencies, always putting others first. And many praised his calm leadership in high-pressure situations, his ability to organize and improve the department operations, and his deep commitment to fundraising and service beyond the call of duty. Chief Hill is respected by his fellow firefighters, admired by the broader community, and recognized as a role model for his selfless service and unwavering dedication. He will always go the extra mile to help the people of Perry. We are fortunate to have Chief Grayson Hill leading our fire department, and even more fortunate to have him as part of our community. He truly exemplifies the Rotary model, service above self. Please join me in congratulating Perry's 2024 Civil Servant of the Year, Chief Grayson Hill. There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome to say a few words if you'd like, but if you don't, that's fine too.
I'm not a very talkative guy, but I would like to thank everybody. This was a total surprise when I got this, and I can't thank the city of Perry, the community, my family, all my firefighter friends for this award. Thank you so much. I love the city of Perry. I love being fire chief, and I love helping out here. So thank you all very much.
Thank you for all you do. Okay, the next special presentation is the Perry Next Strategic Plan Update.
Good evening. Josh Shields, Bolton and Mink. Thanks for providing us an opportunity to update on the progress to date. We've got a number of projects going on in the community, some of them construction, also planning. And so Sven thought it would be a good idea to just kind of bring council up to speed on the progress that's been made and kind of where we're headed. So, and if council would like some information afterwards, I can put together kind of a quick sheet and then send it through Liz. So we have 4 work areas as part of the strategic plan: industrial development, economic growth, education, workforce, training and schools, parks and public space, and then housing and neighborhoods. Parks and public space, one component of that is looking at the Perry Campground, which is the parcel west of Frog Creek, kind of in that nook of Raccoon River Valley trail, and then also was acquired through a REAP grant here a couple of years ago. And then housing and neighborhoods is also dovetailed in with Iowa State and the rural housing readiness assessment process. So our work summary is really executive steering committee. They are establishing main priority areas for each of the work pieces, strategies for work area playbooks, and are providing guidance to advisory committees. And then each of those 4 work areas has an advisory committee that has met at least twice. With the housing neighborhoods, they've met 3 times. And are looking through basically providing feedback on different areas within the community and also from different organizations to help get a better assessment of what the community is facing, what the needs are, and to help facilitate playbooks and also the overall umbrella plan. Current work status is that we we've met with the advisory committees and we've collected a lot of data. We've identified some trends in each of those work areas that will be used to build out playbooks. The executive steering committee has actually prioritized that data and has generated feedback to the advisory committees to kind of keep things moving from high level and then also from the grassroots up. We actually meet with the executive steering committee tomorrow afternoon. As part of that meeting, they're going to identify strategic priorities that each of the 4 work groups talk through and discuss at meetings this month. The housing and neighborhoods was on the 2nd of April, and the other 3 occurred on 4/10 and 4/11. We are working with Omar Padilla at Iowa State, who is facilitating that rural housing readiness assessment process as part of housing and neighborhoods to dovetail that process as they get through the workshops back into the similar plane of field that the other groups are in. And then through all of those coming together, we're going to be creating outlines, executive summaries for the umbrella plan, and then also the playbook deliverables for each of the 4 work areas. One thing that we've noticed as we've gone through, particularly the last 2 months, is as it's warmed up, people have gotten busy. A lot of people on this, both the executive steering committee as well as the advisory committees have a lot going on. And so we are actually working with the city and then working with the executive steering committee tomorrow to figure out if we need to adjust the process a little bit, still keep things moving, but also provide some capacity within the participants of the 5 different areas, and allow for playbooks to be developed, keep momentum going, but then also allow us to get a little bit more data, a little bit better consistent data representing the overall community as part of the umbrella plan. We've had a couple of meetings here on the last month and a half where, not everybody on those committees has been able to attend for one reason or another. So we're keeping things moving forward, but remaining flexible to make sure that all the different pieces of the plan come together. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have 3 public hearings. So the first one is a public hearing on City of Perry's intent to dispose of public property by sale. It's going to be selling it to Michael Hupp. The property is at 2312 Lucinda and was obtained by the city through a 657A process. And it is the city's intent to dispose of property for sale for development. So I will open that at 6:14. And discussion.
Give another recap from this previously from the last meeting. So we acquired the property through 657A. Once we acquired it, we put out a RFP for proposals and received 2 proposals for this project. And then we had a committee review them and selected Michael Hupp as the best fit. So he will go in and demo the existing dilapidated home this summer. And then he will split the parcel into 2 because it can be, it's large enough to have 2 buildable lots. And then he'll put a single family home and a duplex. And the anticipated completion for both of those will be at the end of 2027. So really excited to see this property get cleaned up.
Any questions? Any other comments? Okay, we'll close that hearing at 6:15. Part B is another public hearing on the City of Perry's intent to dispose of public property by sale. This one is to JC and JC Homes, and the property is located at 1918 West 4th Street. And again, it was obtained by the city through a 657A process, and we want to dispose of it so that it can be redeveloped. So I will open this one at 6:16.
For the record, we did try to get Molly to sit at the table this time, but she declined.
I only have these 2 items, so it's much less than last time. But same process as was previously mentioned. We actually got 7 submittals for this one. And then JC and JC Homes were the best fit from the committee that sat down and reviewed all the proposals. So they will either go in and repair what's existing. There's a lot of stuff in the home right now. So once they have that cleared, they'll make better judgment of if they can either repair, or if it's too far gone, they will tear that down and use the existing foundation to build something new. And their anticipated completion date for that is by the end of July next year. So.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this one? Okay, we will close this one at 6:17. Final public hearing is on the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget. We talked about the general levy last meeting. This one is for the entire budget. The levy would be set at 17.92583 per $1,000 of valuation. And this time the council desires to receive any public comments concerning the proposed budget. So I'll open this one at 6:18.
So we did go through pretty much most of the operating budget at our last work session that we did with the budget. So after we went through all that, Susie made those changes and put everything together. In the packet, there was the list of capitals for this upcoming fiscal year. So those will also be part of the approval to be able to start planning for and moving forward on for this next fiscal year. We did also pull the 5 years kind of CIP of what departments requested. And we will get that sent out unless I missed an email and Liz already sent it out. So we'll get that sent out just to give a longer term picture for council of kind of what else is coming in future years to keep that in mind as well. So, yeah.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll close this one at 6:18. Okay, on to old business. The first one is a resolution approving a purchase agreement for the sale of city-owned property and a development agreement with Michael Hupp. For resolution 020325D. We want to approve the RFP for 2512 Lucinda Street. That was again obtained through 657A process, and award it to Michael Hupp for the development of the property. He has put in a bid of $16,000 for the property, and it directs the mayor and city administrator to sign, or the city administrator to sign the documents necessary to make this happen. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve resolution approving a purchase agreement for the sale of city-owned property and a development agreement with Michael Hupp.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
Molly went through kind of the details previously, but exciting, especially with this one, to have 3 units where there has just been one pretty small house. So exciting to see that opportunity come forward.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Yes.
Shelly,
Yes.
Scott,
Okay, item B is resolution approving a purchase agreement with sale and city property, owned property with JC and JC Homes per resolution 020325D. Council approved a request for proposal for the property at 1918 West 4th Street. And we propose to award that to JC and JC Homes LLC, the redevelopment of the property. They put in a bid of $7,000, and it directs the mayor and or the city administrator to execute all the documents necessary to sell and transfer the title. And both of these have development agreement with them too. I forgot to mention. So can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve resolution approving a purchase agreement for the sale of city-owned property and a development agreement with JC and JC Homes LLC.
Okay. Discussion.
again, Molly gave a pretty good overview, but this 657A process has been going pretty well for us. I'll say this is maybe number 5 and 6 number of properties that we've done. So exciting to see this process kind of pan out and get to this point with these properties.
We hate to see it get to that point where we have to do it, but when we have to, it's good that it's there. So. Okay, need further discussion. Roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Okay, item C is a resolution adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Finance Office and City Clerk will be advised to file the fiscal year 2026 budget with the Dallas County and State of Iowa officials prior to the April 30th, 2025 deadline as required by law. So could I have a motion, please?
Item C, resolution adopting the annual budget fiscal year ending June 30, 2026.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
We mentioned earlier, lots of work put into this one, and shout out, of course, to Susie and Liz, but also all of our department heads for working through that shortfall and being able to work out about $75,000 in either cuts or increases in revenue. So some creative ideas for the upcoming fiscal year. And probably a good time to mention, I believe I got an email today that the property tax legislation is moving forward through subcommittee. So we're tracking that pretty closely to watch any changes or modifications that come up with that, so that we can communicate with our legislators. But yeah, hopefully it will turn out in a positive way for us in the future.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott,
Item D is approval of GX number 09 for the CDBG contract number 23 HSGU 004 in the amount of $9,080. Drawdown on the upper story housing conversion grant, contract number 23 HSGU 004. This was accepted through per resolution 041723B and is conversion taking place by the Nudgers at 1306 Second Street. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve JAX number 9 for CDBG contract number 23-HSUGU -004.
Second.
Okay, further discussion. Carla was here last week or last meeting and kind of discussed where we were at. They were a little over halfway through that process and getting ready to start some interior finishing trims. And so should start looking nice here pretty soon. So, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yeah.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay. Item E is a resolution approving an agreement addendum to the GAVI contract number CNTRT 00005810. Resolution 112023B. We're seek funding from a general aviation vertical infrastructure airport program, GAVI, for the expansion of the terminal at the airport, and due to some design issues with the old terminal, that one is not suitable to add to and reuse. So this, we've asked if we could convert this to be used on a new terminal instead of the old terminal conversion. So this is basically just changing the use of it and then adding a contract manager at risk clause that they require to the program. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve resolution approving an agreement addendum to the GAVI contract number CNTRT -60005810. Sorry.
And I will second.
this will also extend the grant deadline as well.
You were Garrett.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, you guys did a pretty good
pretty good explanation. Just a little background, went through, and we were looking at originally expanding the terminal building to the west. In further, investigation or investigation that was not able to happen without demolition of some of the existing walls to the northwest and south, where the extension would have an additional dead load on the roof. The structural engineer was not comfortable designing the roof that we had desired. And so what they had proposed just would not have fit. And basically the extension would have looked more like a lean-to rather than a true expansion of the terminal building. And so we approached the DOT with those findings and had asked if we could change the intent of the grant from expanding that terminal building to, yep, like you said, producing a new facility that could be expanded in the future. Doing so allows for additional apron space to construct a large hangar in the future, relocation of the fuel farm, and potentially adding on the SRE building onto the back of this terminal facility. So overall, it's just it's in the same spirit of the grant, so they did not require anything different there, but they did, like you said, add a CMAR language that is now currently always added to Gavi grants, and also gave us I think it's about a 3-month time extension from when the grant was supposed to be totally expended. So with approval of this, then we'll be able to proceed with a different design, and then potentially bring on a construction manager to help with both design and construction. Matt and Sven are a lot more privy to that delivery method than I am, but I'm eager to learn. So yeah, that's about it for that one.
What does a construction manager at risk do for those of us?
Do you want me to, or do you? So the construction manager at risk process is a different project delivery method than what we would traditionally go through of designing a project, putting it out to bid, and, you know, going with the lowest bidder on that project. With this, you go through a couple different processes of requests for qualifications for a design team and then a general contractor. And that gives you a lot more flexibility to work with a contractor and the design team at the same time. You know, for value engineering or making modifications here and there, and then allows us to be able to kind of go through and better select some of the subcontractors and go through that, hopefully bringing down the cost of construction. So we haven't tried that before. We're talking about the possibility of trying that delivery method for this project as a way to just try out a new process, but also hopefully be able to keep more of those funds local with local contractors and things like that. So a little bit more process into that area, but we're going to be moving forward with some processes and preliminary designs.
So, and just to clarify, them putting the DOT adding that language is not a requirement that we use CMAR, but it is allowing us to use it. So I think we probably will move forward with it, but it's nice moving forward that we know that's in there for the potential Gavi grants from the DOT.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do. I'm familiar with the airport and the hangar and there's all sorts of space out there. And I don't quite understand why we couldn't come up with a plan to expand that current building in such a manner that perhaps would be less financial cost and still serve the public and serve the airport.
Yeah. So that was our original intent. Once the architect and Bolton Mank with their engineers got in to do some discovery work, originally the building was built with a flat roof. And then at some point, 70s, 80s, They decided they wanted a hip style roof on it, so they just framed that above the existing roof. So there's actually two roof structures on top of the terminal. And then now with current building code and things like that, basically for the structural engineer and for us to design those additions the way we originally intended to, you would basically have to tear down the wall to see what's in the wall to see if it would support an addition. So once we started really digging into it and seeing what the existing structure was, it just was not really feasible to move forward with that. As Garrett mentioned, they did come up with a design that could work, but it looked not like something we would want to invest money in the long term. So one of the concepts that we are discussing is with the money budgeted towards the snow removal equipment building, actually maybe expanding that a little bit and building the new terminal space either within that footprint of one large structure or some sort of kind of addition to that snow removal equipment building. So I think we were all rather disappointed that the original thought process and plan of utilizing the existing structure and adding on to it did not work out. I think in the long term, this does open up better space right on the apron in front for a
Okay,
future
so
hangar.
to back up just a minute, who's the we that were disappointed?
Just, Bolton Mink's team, and then Jack, Josh, myself, everybody that had been involved in the planning, design, all that.
So the big piece, what it comes down to is when we started to modify the building, we started looking at the designs to modify the building. The way the walls were built on the existing building, there's no way to verify structural stability in the walls. The structural engineer was working on the project was very concerned about the ability to add additional load to those walls without having a structural problem. With the addition and then putting a new roof and not being able to modify the existing building, by the time that would have all been done, we would have spent almost the same amount to go build a new building, especially with it being potentially adjacent to the new snow removal equipment building, which also will save us some costs. So that structurally, that's the big limitation of it. The other benefit that does come out of it is when you think about an airport, you think about the apron and its intended use, the front door to your community is usually, when you come up right off the runway. By moving the terminal over to the side, it'll open that up for a larger hangar to be built there, which also would open up the opportunities to bring somebody in that could potentially start a new business there as well. So it does have some side benefits that come along with that. But I do agree with Sven. It was unfortunate as we started doing the research on that building, the limitations that building was going to allow us to. There also was a lot of limitations in regard to HVAC units on that and how to heat and cool new additions with the false roof and the open space above. It was going to be pretty challenging.
Further discussion? You would like,
Right. Yep.
okay, roll call.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Lawler.
Yes.
Schott.
No.
Okay. On to item F, approval of pay application number 40 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. Number 40 is in the amount of $386,959.79 to Woodworth Construction. That includes $53,820 of new work and $333,139.79 of retainage release for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. To date, they are 99.4% complete. with $393,605.65 remaining in retainage after this is paid, if it's paid. Our documents have been reviewed and signed off by the engineer and are recommended for approval. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve pay application number 40 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, so this basically, pretty much done. This is just some small, minute things, and the majority of this is the retainage that they're releasing back for the completion of things. You guys have been doing an excellent job out there with a new plant and a new system. I mean, it's extremely larger than what we had before, but is awesome because that allows us to expand and have that capacity out there. So the guys have done a really good job, just, like fine tuning things that with a new plant and stuff like that. And they understand things so much better than I do and how they do stuff with air movement and everything like that. But everything's going really good. We're looking at doing an open house out there, probably maybe towards the end of June or July. We want the grass and everything to come in really well and everything. We'll have some video presentations and some boards and some tours and different stuff like that, where I know Sven and Dave and myself will be doing some video stuff for that. So there'll be a really nice opportunity for all the council to come out and, the public and everything. So in addition to that, we'll have some other open houses for other projects this year. So things are going really good, and glad that those guys know what's going on and are able to adapt to a whole new system for the most part. So, but yeah, everything's going good.
The discussion. Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, and item G of old business is approval of pay application number 8 for Frog Creek Restoration. It's in the amount of $86,461.87 to Iowa Earthworks for the completion of live staking installation. It's been reviewed and signed off by the project engineer, recommends approval, and this is getting pretty close to finishing that one up. So can I have a motion, please?
G. Restoration.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Explain to me live stake installation. What's a live stake?
So essentially you gotta remember this, where we're putting these plantings in. We've got a lot of water that's up and down, a lot of fluctuation change. Live stakes are generally embedded further into the soil. They're made for that environment. They'll stay there with the rise and flow of the water. So they help maintain erosion, help stability of the banks. So as the mayor said, the project is nearly complete. We've got a few warranty items that we're hanging on to. We'll suspect probably here within the month, we'll bring the acceptance of the project, as well as start looking at release of retainage. We do have to have some conversation with the contractor. Some of the warranty items carry over for about a year. So we want to explore what our options are as far as holding retainage while we hold on to those warranty pieces. So more to come here in about a month.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shaw,
Okay, on to new business. Item A is a resolution approving the insurance administration contracts and renewing the Blue Choice Insurance Plan with Wellmark Iowa Government Healthcare Plan, IGHCP, for the city of Perry employees. It's with all the employees and the union employees in the city manual. It's a 26% increase over the current rate. And it would go effective July 1st, 2025 until June 30th, 2026. So could I have a motion, please?
Should approve item A, resolution approving insurance administration contracts and renewing the Blue Choice insurance plan with Wellmark Iowa Government Healthcare Plan for the city area.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion.
We have Mr. Skip Lowe here. Would you like to say a few words or?
Sure. Thanks for having me here in this splendid spring. evening. Also, I just wanted to thank you all for your support. Here to answer any questions. I did put together the information that you've already received in your emails and your packets. So yeah, I want to field any questions. I think it's also good to mention that we spent a lot of time on this year's renewal. We took a look at several of our options that were out there in the marketplace. I think we started back in December and shared our findings. So had a 0.26% increase overall, which in my world, that's good news. So, you know, beauty is always in the eye of the beholder when it comes to insurance costs, but my average increase right now is running around 8%. Your health plan has not changed for the employees for several years. And what I like to tell folks in cities and public bodies that when you have a good benefit plan, it's economic development. Because if you raise your deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses for individuals and families, that's money that leaves your community. So the council, city has done a great job managing their plan. I am still going to pass these out at the very end. I did an analysis of, have you made good decisions? The answer is invariably yes. We look at a lot of different data points through various different platforms that we have. We've estimated just because of the decisions that you've made, plus you're partially self-funded, you've built a reserve up to help mitigate increases, approximately about $1.3 million of savings since 2005 with the decision making. So probably more than I needed to say, but I just want to make sure I'm answering all the questions. So I'll stop there to see if there's anything I can field.
Okay, thank you.
Just watch the boards.
Thank you, sir.
Jeremy.
Oh, Skip. You missed Jeremy.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Shelly,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B is a resolution approving the group dental and vision insurance renewal with Principal Life Insurance for City of Perry employees. Not quite as good as the last one. It's going to be an increase of 6.8, but still reasonable compared to some we've had in the past. And it will be effective from July 1st of 2025 to June 30th of 2026. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion approved by the eight resolution. Dental vision insurance renewal with Principal Life Insurance for the City of Perry.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion on this one.
So the 6.8% is only on the dental portion. The vision portion is on year 2 of our rate hold, so that will not change.
Okay. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shelly,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Scott.
Okay, item C is the last insurance renewal. It's a resolution approving renewal of the Hartford insurance policy for group term life and long-term disability benefits for the City of Perry employees. The current one expires this year and the new one will be July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, and will be an increase of 32.07%. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve renewal of the Hartford insurance policy for group term life and long-term disability benefits for the City of Perry employees.
Second.
So
The
Hold it for the
30,
Liz.
the 32.07% is only on long term. The life group life insurance portion is at no cost.
and 32% increase is about $3,300, I believe, for the year. Couple of years
$3,300 per
total
Oh,
for the year. So it's a much lower cost insurance. So the percentages are higher, but in dollars, it's very manageable. Skip is probably about to just say this, but 2-3 years ago, we did switch, I think, from Sun Life to the Hartford for a 44% decrease. So again, kind of in the long term, we are better off. This is just an adjustment year, but would you like to add anything, Mr. Love? Okay.
Okay,
So it's also there's several planes. So we did look at the market. That's the best we have. 2% sounds like just but
He'll reduce it by 50% next year, I'm sure.
okay, further discussion? Roll call.
Mahler.
Yes.
Line.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Shot.
Okay, now we're on to the exciting new business, a resolution approving the application of ADR Axles USA, Inc. to the Iowa Economic Development Authority High Qualities Jobs Program. They're going to build a 54,000 square foot fabrication and assembly facility at our industrial park. And this authorizes the high quality jobs program for this company's plans. They're going to spend 14.3 million in capital. They're going to create 35 jobs, 12 of which will meet or exceed the HQJP quality labor wage of $31.10 per hour. And so we would like, and then the city is also planning to give them a TIF abatement in that district once the construction is complete. So could I have a motion, please?
Application for ADR Axles USA Inc. to the Iowa Economic Development Authority High Quality Jobs Program.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion.
Right, so
Is the spec builders that up there is gonna be another spec building?
this is new construction, kind of on the east edge of the industrial park on 2 lots right on the gravel road. So this project originally came to us through the Greater Des Moines Partnership. And so last Friday, this application went to the Iowa Economic Development Authority Board and was approved contingent upon the Perry City Council passing this resolution of support for that application. So as part of this, there is a financial match to the state's incentives. So we'll be working through our own development agreement process in the next couple of months to get that put together. So working with bond counsel and the company to get all of that squared away, but we do have Sid from the partnership here and John, who is representing the company on the US side so that they don't have to commute back and forth to Iowa from Italy. So do you guys kind of want to come up and say a little bit about project and your
Yeah,
roles?
just wanted to say that this is a company that's family owned, 3rd generation, is very vocal about how well they treat their workers, which is part of the reason that they chose to be in a new construction space versus an existing building somewhere else, because they just didn't meet the standards for their workforce, because they needed more light, more abilities for how they treat their workers. The one thing I will say is a testament to Perry, which you guys should be very happy about, is this was a competitive project. We beat out a lot of states surrounding us, including some down south. We also asked why, and the answer has unanimously been the ease of working with the community, thanks to, Sven, the city, Perry Economic Development, all of those people coming together, Rachel at the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance, and for them to feel that they were getting taken care of and the amount of help that they got provided to get this project through, but more so when they visited, they felt that they could be part of this community, and that's a testament to all of you. So thank you very much.
And I'm going to share a story of Sid. Everybody, all of council needs to give Sid a big hug after the meeting, because when they were in town, they weren't here to look at Perry, but he convinced them to come up here and then promised that he could get them back to the partnership office in 40. Oh, the airport.
I said 45 minutes to the airport, and they didn't believe me, and I said if they missed their flight, I personally would buy them 1st class tickets back to Italy. Glad.
And
I didn't get two traffic light camera tickets, but. First class tickets.
And what was your time?
7 minutes, but when we started the clock was when we hit the thing, so.
Okay.
Exactly 45 minutes from Casey's to our.
Perfect.
And I'd like to echo what Sid said. The city's been great to work with. This is an exciting project, 54,000 square foot facility, but it's not just manufacturing fabrication. It's sales, it's engineering, it's, R&D, and this, like Sid alluded to, it's a family-owned business. They're committed to the worker, high-quality jobs, great wages, and they're committed to growing the business in Perry. This is going to be their North American headquarters. So as they service their clients throughout North America.
Very good.
Oh, if you want to read more about the company and family, the book is in your library.
Perfect.
I think it's been already.
Yeah, we've got a couple copies.
Yeah. And again, this is a great testament to our investment in the Greater Des Moines Partnership and the support that they've given us through however long we've been a member, but definitely over the last year and a half with Tyson closing and showing support with that as well. And then being able to help land this project right here over other states and regions. So it's been great. And then Rachel with the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance has also been right alongside this whole process as well, making it happen. So a great opportunity for us, very exciting, and hopefully just the first of many exciting things to happen for us.
Good. Any other questions, comments? Okay. We have roll call, please.
Yes.
Mahler?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Welcome, ADR. Looking forward to having you come in. Okay, item E is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application for the Iowa Department of Transportation Airport funding and certifying eligibility requirements. It's basically what we discussed above in the public hearing. So met on Airport Commission met on April 14th, 2025, and provided recommendation for such grant application. This is for a new grant, comes up every year, and we just want to apply for it again this year. And it would include in local share amounts of $121,500 for the site improvements, $64,278.95 for the hangars, buildings. So on top of the new admin building, we'd have new hangars out there for the long list of people that have been wanting to rent a hangar from us and haven't been able to because we didn't have any. So motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve resolution authorizing the submission of an application for the Iowa Department of Transportation airport funding and certify eligibility requirements. Got a hard time with that.
I'll second.
So this application is kind of building off of the taxiway reconstruction. As part of that, we're actually, we were able to work with the FAA to install a second access point so that during the taxiway construction, the runway access is not closed down at all, which actually allows us for more expansion opportunity kind of to the north and west along the taxiway. So this would be kind of starting a little bit of apron space up in that direction, and then hopefully starting the construction of some T hangars. And I believe our wait list is about 35 people waiting for hangars at our airport. So definitely great opportunity, and should be kind of probably finishing up right towards the end of or kind of during our taxiway reconstruction project. So kind of a great opportunity to get some more growth going. Get more airplanes buying fuel.
I did tell Susie, I could add that if it was something that would be awarded, that the local share amounts would be something that would be looked into as far as another bond issuance for a loan.
And this is a state grant, not an FAA grant.
Correct.
Yep, State of Iowa DOT.
Okay,
Do you mind if I jump in for a second? This is
certainly.
great. So this is actually tied on to one of the upcoming FAA grants that's utilizing the remainder of the airport's BIL funds. So with a lot of your, or basically all of the airfield pavement being reconstructed and essentially brand new, it allows you to open up possibilities for revenue producing facilities such as hangars. And so that's essentially what we're looking at here. Establishing these new taxi lanes also allows for, we've got, I think Jack said about 4 private hangar developers that want to move in, but we need a place to put them. So these taxi lanes allow for that access point to begin to head down toward that direction. So if you look at any of the exhibits that are shown in that grant application package, this is just the first kind of phase that was identified. And then this would grow toward the would be the east. But as an effective use for the, I think the wait list is up to about 40 people now that want to build hangars or want to have hangar space out at the airport. Start with some Ts, get some people in there that want to build privately with the ground leases, and then continue to expand onto this T hangar in the future for smaller aircraft in that area. And then back behind this location, we've got a lot of flexibility for the different types and kinds of hangars that we can install, but this is a good starting point for that development area.
For the discussion?
It just seems like a very significant progress in support, for the airport.
Yep. And the nice thing about this project and projects moving forward will very much be revenue focused. Not only just building hangars and receiving hangar rent, but also hopefully getting aircraft and pilots that are actively flying in and out to purchase fuel and help our fuel sales numbers. So we've seen some good momentum since the new runway opened up, and we're excited to build on that as well. But I think another one of the pushes with people interested in building hangars is that the next couple of years, the Ankeny Airport is going to be, I think, closed off from the hangars to the runway. So people are looking for an alternate location to call home base, because it's supposed to, I think Matt might know better than I. It's supposed to be closed for a year or more or something like that. So there's a lot of tenants at the Ankeny Airport looking for a new home.
And how many planes is this? How many?
I think this was a 2.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes. So this would be a 2-unit hangar. So it would house essentially 2 aircraft. I believe I had about 40-foot doors, which covers a lot of the smaller Group 1 aircraft, or what's kind of based on the field. And then what's shown in the hangar waiting list that Jack had provided me. And then in the future, looking at larger box hangars like 50 by 50s, 60 by 60s, and those can fit a lot more. But essentially the idea would be to allow for this expansion to happen. The city puts in the infrastructure, the taxi lanes to get to those areas, and then the city offers a ground lease for private people to construct a hangar. And that's how you essentially make more and more revenue compared to just renting out the hangar space. So you're making your money more or less on the ground lease than you are any other way. So I think Liz and I have talked at length about the ground lease stuff, but yeah, this is got kind of the starting point. Want to get people interested, then start building more and more taxi lane, get people to build their own hangars and offer those ground leases.
And these are the T hangars, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that the same thing as a nesting hangar?
Yes.
That
a nesting T hangar? Is
nesting
the
T is the
engineering term.
Thank you.
probably.
I don't have an airplane.
I don't either.
Might have room for you to put one in, so think about it. There's a flight school out there.
Scared of heights.
Garrett brought up the land lease. The airport commission did approve a template for the land lease. Land leases are normally more than 3 years because you're building something pretty substantial. So once that maybe would take place, it's going to have to come before council because we will have to hold a public hearing on it and then you guys will have to then approve the land leases. So you guys will see those come through.
Is it just lease opportunity or do we have land to sell also? Is there?
So we cannot
can't-
sell any airport property, and that's FAA grant assurance rules, but we can enter into a long-term lease for the ground that then allows somebody to build their hangar.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Okay, getting close to the bottom. So we have item F, last of new business resolution approving addition to the fire department roster. Fire Chief Grayson Hill is recommending that we approval of Mr. Solomon Ochoa Rivera's application to the volunteer fire department. And they wants to be added to the new personnel roster. So could I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve item F. Resolution approving addition to the Perry Volunteer Fire Department roster.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
Many people is that? He said it's
Less than 40.
He said there's doing some more.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the roster number is full at like it's an odd number, like 38.
I thought it was 40,
Was it?
but
40?
we're under, I think we're
In the
in the,
20s.
yeah. So plenty of room.
In like low 20s.
And a lot of those 20s don't make it out very regularly. It's the same ones that pretty much come every time, it sounds like. So they want to up the amount of people that come regularly. So. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Shot,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Okay, now we have two ordinances. The first reading for an ordinance adding subsection to chapter 96.06 building sewers and connector interceptors required. This is the first reading. We will have to have two more. But it is basically add a new subsection for interceptor sewers that will be inspected on an annual basis and fees will be charged for those. Mainly ones with grease traps because we've had a number of problems with grease trap not being cleaned out and clogging the sewer line up out in the street and causing major problems. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion that we approve the first reading for an ordinance adding subsection to chapter 9606 building sewers and connections and interceptors required.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, so we already have it's called FOG, which is fats, oils, and greases. We've had a long standing, it's a really good ordinance, but we're just wanting to add a section in there that basically kind of defines that inspection part to where we can actually it's a more organized system so that we're going to start going into places to inspect their grease traps so that we can see what's going on a yearly basis with an inspection fee per year of $75 for those spots, or I believe $125 if they have a grease interceptor, which is like the big tank outside. We've spent a lot of money over the years cleaning sewers because of grease, and you know, we can't control what people put down the sewer lines, but we can only educate them. So this is something I've wanted to work on for a very long time. With the help of Molly and Liz, we were able to come up with this. And if you guys approve this, then we'll take this to Mr. Dalen when we're done to review everything, go through everything, make sure we don't need any other changes before second ordinance or anything. But this just allows us to go and start documenting things and in helping them to educating them so that we have materials for them to educate the employees on what to do and what not to do, kind of a best practices situation. So.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay, item B is the first reading for an ordinance creating chapter 116 airport. This was a new airport ordinance complete, something they've been trying to work on for a while. It was approved by the Airport Commission at their meeting a week or so ago on April 14th. And we would have it reviewed and sent to the FAA and the Airport Commission, and then it would be the new standard out at our airport. And it was pretty long, so if you didn't get a chance to read it all, I'd recommend you try reading the rest of it before for the next meeting. But it is pretty complete document now, and should be good for us because everybody should be able to understand what's required out there. So can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve the first reading of an ordinance creating chapter 11-6 airport, 116 airport,
116.
116 airport.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
Well, this document was reviewed by the Airport Commission and several people at Bolton and Mink. Was also sent off to the FAA. They gave some suggestions on additions, which got done. It went to Dewey, he reviewed it, and also went to Brad Bingston for insurances to make sure that we have all the coverage we need to have for insurance. Be compliant, I guess. There will be another document coming after this. This is the minimum standards. The FAA is currently reviewing the rules and regulations. So this is creating the chapter and the minimum standards, and then in the months to come, you'll see another subsection added to it for rules and regulations. And I'm sure Garrett can give you a very detailed analysis of how it all went down.
At another time.
To keep it short, with all the development that's been going on at the airport and the construction and potential construction of new hangars, this is the first document and what are called the primary guiding documents for the airport. So this sets the standard for aeronautical services, both commercial and private, that happen at the airport, as well as regular users. What's expected for people who are constructing hangars, protects the city from any discrepancies in what somebody think they can be doing versus what they are doing, and this is setting what they should be doing. So these are equal for all different types of aeronautical services that happen at the airport. But this is the kind of first step for standardizing moving forward development out at the Perry Municipal Airport.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, and both of these will be on the next agenda, and we will probably try to do second and third reading if we don't have any comments to the second reading that force us to wait a couple more weeks. So, and with that, we will adjourn. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay.